Nathan Graves, 989, interviewer and spokesman for the Abridged community. IDLIT Studios, Takahata 101 and Cheeseman Joe.
Hey guys, this is Nathan Graves 989, and I'm here with the creators of g-gundam Abridged, IDLIT Studios, which consists of Takahata 101 and Cheeseman Joe. Guys, thanks for this interview.
No problem, man.
Alright, first question I'm going to ask is, what inspired you guys to make an Abridged series?
Originally, I started watching Abridged series for a while. I watched the Yu-Gi-Oh! One first, then I watched Berserk, then I watched Naruto, and then I insistently on Cheeseman to watch them too, and he did, and he checked them out, and he liked them as well. So, I was just sitting there, and we both kind of decided around the same time that we both wanted to do one, and we both kind of decided that we'd do G-Gundam.
Well, I kind of decided g-gundam. He wanted to do Hello Kitty.
Yeah, that's right. Hello Kitty Abridged is our next project. This'll right here, right in stone, with blood.
And children's tears.
Yes, that's what we use for the ink.
Why exactly g-gundam?
Well, I think for g-gundam it's just because the show itself, it's just so funny. Like, it's very stereotypical. Like, you look at a lot of the Gundam designs, and they're based on their own nation, and you just can't help but laugh at it. And it's just trying so hard to be so serious. And really, if you break it down, it's pretty much Dragon Ball Gundam, really, if you think about it. So it's just, honestly, it's just right for the picking.
And overall, the series itself is just, it pans out a lot better than other Gundams, in my opinion. I missed the Gundam Seed fan boat and the Gundam 00 fan boat, and I wasn't a big fan of Wing. Wing was great, but G-Gundam is just different, and I like that.
Yeah.
It's
It dared
like
to be different. It dared to wear the dress in the Gundam family, and it worked for it.
It's the main character is different from all the other main characters. All the other main characters can be on a cliff crying, dun, 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 easily. You can picture them. But the main character in G-Gundam, Domon, goes out of his way to piss off his opponent so they'll fight him.
Who do you guys voice in g-gundam Abridged?
Well, as Cheeseman Joe, I do Domon Kashu, George the Storm, Chubby Shaolin, and the American government. Oh yeah, and you know of Treasure?
And I voice Stalker, Chabony Crockett, Rain, Marie Louise, Theo Somalia, Niccolo Chariot.
Do you guys have a favorite episode so far?
I like episode 2, mainly because everyone else tells us they like episode 2. So plus it was honestly editing wise, it was probably the best one flow wise and all that. So I'm a big fan of episode 2.
Taka?
2 as well. As everyone says, 2 just flows really well. Because the episode itself was actually a really good episode. It's one of my favorite G-Gundam episodes. I just thought it was very hilarious how they portrayed America.
What's the process you guys go through to making an episode?
Drugs and hookers.
Yep, some blow in there too.
Takahata does a lot of the writing. He gets the general feel for the episode, and then he tells me his idea, and then I work on the editing of it. And then there are a lot of jokes that we want to do, so we do them. And then after that, most of what we do is just improvise with editing, bloopers that we can create, and all sorts of other good stuff.
What are the advantages of living near the person?
Yeah.
It's given us such an edge.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a favorite character to voice?
Mine's Stalker.
I like doing the bandit leader, just because the voice is so different.
Did you guys ever regret a joke or think something wasn't that funny?
Every day.
Episode-
No, I
3.
kind of regret episode 3. I kind of regret a lot of the World of Warcraft jokes. The thing is that Takahata and I both played it. Me, not as much as Takahata. I probably got max level I got was like 20, and after that I just didn't see a point anymore. But a lot of the jokes you kind of had to play World of Warcraft to get them, and if you hadn't, you're pretty much kept in the dark. So I really regret that we put so many in. It's just that we were having such a hard time thinking of anything for a character trait for Sai Saishi besides being an annoying spaz.
Just make him a video gamer, and it seems to really work out because he's Chinese. Another racial stereotype. The show filled with them.
Now watch, he's gonna have like 8 lawsuits after this airs.
What Abridged series are you guys currently watching?
Pretty much all of them. I like KaiserNeko's Lupin the Third Abridged. That's very, very funny. But like Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, Yu Yu Hakusho. I didn't really watch a lot of the Naruto Abridged because, like I've said before, I'm not much of a Naruto fan. Just just not my cup of tea, I guess I could say.
So I watched Avatar as well. I've watched Sayuki Reloaded Abridged, which is pretty good. I watched Megami 33's her Sailor Moon Abridged, which is actually getting a bit more popular, but like her episodes are really hit or miss, and sometimes they're really hilarious, sometimes they're kind of like meh. But overall, it's still a pretty good product. Mostly watch and make sure we don't rip anybody off.
Yeah. We try to keep our jokes as original as possible.
How do you come up with your jokes?
It's just comes to us different
Yeah.
times. When I was scripting, sometimes I'll be watching the episode and then I'll see a physical gag that we can throw in there, or there's a loop in the scene, or it just pans out differently that I can like twist it or throw something in there. And Cheeseman has lots of on-the-spot humor that's helpful.
Yeah. That and,
Jeez.
also, I work a night job, so I don't really do anything at my job, so I got a lot of time, about 7 hours at a time, to think about absolutely nothing. And some of the jokes just come to me, so, since I know the series pretty well, I can think about, well, what happened in that episode that I think would be funny, and, oh yeah, this happened, so let's roll with that.
Are there any Abridged series that you think are overrated or underrated?
Well, for overrated, I don't want people to hate me, but I do believe Team Data.io. I like their episodes. It's just that sometimes, I've been kind of having trouble watching it after episode 4. Because episode 4, it just kind of seemed to me like they were really high on themselves. Like they really, like their whole joke about they're not going to hire people that have done professional voice acting, because they did it for a 4-kid dub. Honestly, I just think everyone who makes an Abridged series, I'm not saying that everyone out there doesn't keep a level head, but honestly, they need to keep everything in perspective. I do still like their series. It's just that at times they seemed a little egotistical to me. But you know what? Their new episode that I just watched today is pretty funny. So
You get a bit of credibility back with that one. Ned Lanny guest star was pretty good. For underrated, Borin Yukami. Honestly, the guy, he has a really bizarre sense of humor that's different from most other Abridgers. He's very random, and his series is really good. I've watched it 5 times. I'm not joking about that. I love his run-on jokes are funny. The $2 bit is hilarious. He thinks it's stupid, but it's hilarious. And overall, and other underrated series, I thought the entire run of Berserk was very underrated. Like he was at 1,500 subscribers, like episode 17, and it was actually baffled me because he was really good at writing for a series that's that violent with that mature of a plot line. What he pulled out of that was really difficult. And just recently, he hit 2,000 subscribers. I was just like, what the hell?
What's the hardest voice to perform on the show?
Marie Louise. Oh.
Yeah, it's hard to listen to as well. When he keeps practicing it 8 hours at a time, and I'm trying to work on the editing, and he's there in my voice, talking in her voice, I want to punch him in the throat so he can't.
And then when I'm not voicing, he just wants to punch me.
Well, he plays Guitar Hero while I'm editing, and, I can only listen to Rock You Like a Hurricane so many damn times before I feel like taking that Fisher-Price guitar and punching it over his head. If I could jump through my computer to his, I would punch him through his mic. I would punch him right through his headset. And he'd have a terrible headache and he'd be off balance.
What about you, Cheeseman? Hardest voice to do?
I don't want to say I don't have one, but I guess maybe the one I have trouble with is George Tassan, because I'm not very good at French accents. Because I'm not French, so...
Good job.
And also, it's that when I was recording his lines, I kept having trouble remembering his pitch and remembering the key that he was in. And so it's really hard for me with him to convey emotion when I'm trying so hard to sound like I did in the last scene. So yeah, but honestly, we've got one comment where a person said it was the worst French accent they ever heard. Okay, honestly, watch the English dub of it. He doesn't have a French accent at all.
The five main characters have perhaps the most blandest voices I've ever heard.
Who do you think would win in a fight? Cone or Orihime's teddy bear?
Floppy.
No Mamotos.
That's the racial stereotype.
I told Borin no Mamotos.
I can't. Floppy would win.
I'd say Orihime Teddy Bear because it survived a hollow. Then again, so has Cone, but I still think the Teddy Bear. Got spirit!